we seek our place in the world and the answers to our heart's deepest questions. And as we seek, may our hearts be open to unexpected answers. May the light of our chalice remind us that this is a community of warmth, of wisdom, and welcoming multiple truths. Blessed be. Amen. You remember the song from last year? I encourage you to sing along, but if not, I encourage you to listen with open hearts for the unexpected answers that this song may reveal.
The time is now to shine our light. Let it shine out and let it shine bright. You are free when you ignite your own light for all to see. When we come together, we illuminate as our light grows brighter. Our bonds break free. We fill our souls with joy and laughter and radiant love for each other. When we share our dreams out loud, our light shines strong and bright. The time is now to hear the voice speaking the truth, and let it speak out. We are free to walk the path of destiny that calls our name. When we come together, we illuminate as our light grows brighter. Our bonds break free. We fill our souls with joy and laughter and radiant love for each other. When we share our dreams out loud, our light shines strong and bright. When we share, we illuminate, and our light shines bright with love.
The story that I will be sharing with you this morning is about a coyote. Now you see, this coyote lived among all the other animals. Lived with the rabbit and the moose and the birds. But the coyote felt, what do I need all these other animals for? I have my songs, I have my flute and my drum, and I have my dance. What do I need all these strange animals for? So Coyote decided that they were going to leave. They were just going to walk away and leave everyone else behind and live on their own. All these crazy other animals, who needs them? So, the next morning, Coyote decided to get up and leave and started walking along, and as Coyote was walking, they happened upon Rabbit. Now you see, Coyote and Rabbit used to run and play together, so that's what Rabbit was expecting. And so Rabbit would run along, and then run all the way up, and then back to Coyote. And Rabbit ran all the way up, over the hill, and then came back, and said to Coyote, "Coyote, do you want to know what's over the hill? I just saw it. I just saw what's over the hill. Do you want to see it? Do you want to know?" But Coyote just ignored the rabbit. Rabbit was a little confused, so Rabbit ran ahead, and again came back, and said, "Coyote, you really need to know what's over the hill. Do you want to know?" And of course, Coyote did want to know, but Coyote had already decided they were leaving everyone behind. So they just looked at Rabbit and kept walking. Now, of course, Rabbit, who'd been used to playing with friendly Coyote, they were very upset. They shook their head and said, "Oh, Coyote, you're crazy," and ran off. And that night, Coyote made a little fire and sat down and prepared to sing the songs. But a funny thing happened. Coyote couldn't remember the songs. So all Coyote could do was play the flute and drum and dance around the fire. The next morning, Coyote got up and started walking again and came across the marsh. And this is where Moose hung out. Now you see, the marsh was wet and muddy, and Coyote didn't know how to get through, but trudged straight through. There was no way they would ask Moose how to get through. They didn't need Moose for anything. And Moose saw Coyote, and Moose said, "Coyote, I can help you get across. Do you want to know where there's a dry spot?" And so Coyote just completely ignored Moose. And Moose said, "Coyote, you're crazy." Left, and Coyote kept going, finally made it through. And after being wet and muddy, decided that they wanted to stop and sleep for the evening. So Coyote lit the fire, but a funny thing happened that night. They couldn't remember songs, and they could no longer remember to play their flute or the drum. So all Coyote could do was dance around the fire. The next morning, Coyote didn't sleep that well, so they came across a stream. It was beautiful, and there were bushes and flowers. And often, as there are among beautiful bushes with flowers, there were birds, chirping and singing. But all Coyote wanted to do was sleep and take a nap. But birds, doing what birds do, they chirped and sang beautiful songs, and this annoyed Coyote to no end. In the end, they ended up yelling at the birds. And the birds, startled, flew off. But one brave bird came back, and they said, "Coyote, you're crazy." And off they flew. So Coyote made the fire, but couldn't remember his songs, couldn't remember the dances, couldn't remember how to play the flute or the drum. So all Coyote could do was stare into the fire. And that night, Coyote fell into a restless, deep dream. And in that dream, the white buffalo came to Coyote and asked, "Coyote, why are you all alone?" Coyote explained, "Well, I don't want to be around all these crazy animals. They're weird and strange, and I have everything I need just by myself." And the white buffalo said, "But don't you understand? Those songs, how to play the flute and the drum, those dances, those are all the spirits of all those you surround yourself with. You may have your fire, your own individual light, but without the spirits of those surrounding you, that's all you'll have." Now, the next morning, Coyote woke up and didn't really remember the dream, but Coyote was feeling better. Coyote decided that they were going to go back the way they had come. And they came across the birds. And suddenly, that night when Coyote put the fire together, Coyote could remember the dances. The next morning, Coyote came across Moose and asked Moose, "Can you help me find a dry patch to get across this march?" And Moose helped. And that night, not only were the dances back, but Coyote remembered how to play the flute and the drum. The next morning, Coyote got up and saw Rabbit. And they ran and they played together like old times. And that evening, everything was back. Coyote lit the fire, could play the flute and the drum, could dance, could sing and remember the songs. And the next day, Coyote came back together with all of Coyote's friends. There was the moose, the rabbit, the birds, and they lit a fire and danced and sang and played music together. We all have our own fire inside, but our lives are enriched by the spirit of those around us. Blessed be, and amen.
When we come together, we illuminate as our light grows brighter, our bonds break free. We fill our souls with joy and laughter and radiant love for each other. When we share our dreams out loud, our light shines strong and bright.
We have come to that time in our service for matters of the heart, when we will share those concerns that are weighing on you or uplifting those joys that you have shared. I had a moment to look at the chat and I don't see any, which is fine. Every week can't be a time where people are maybe ready to share what's inside. Today's holiday and celebration is talking about the way that we share our differences. And part of that is the fact that we come together each week, and some congregations in some places of faith, this would be called an intercessionary prayer. But we want you to know that whatever seeking of comfort, whatever you call it, We are here for you and for that expression. Here is Happy Luminescence. Yes, Janelle, we will light a candle for our celebration of Luminescence. For unique UU holidays that we hope to, gain some ground. This is a new one. I like it. And a candle from Rich Burrell to continue, may we continue to have peace on earth, or may we strive for peace on earth to be a thing that we have. Wow, that thing is really... I'm sorry, I'm completely taken out of it by this candle thing. Help! No, it's fine. Everything is fine. The brass lighter is going to be okay.
Reminds me of that meme of the dog sitting perfectly.
This is fine.
This is fine.
During this time when we are supposed to be having a prayerful moment. Beloveds, I know there are things in your hearts and on your minds, and maybe you have not yet felt moved to place them in the chat. Maybe you are speaking them quietly to yourself. Maybe they feel too new to share, or maybe you're not sure how to speak of them. So we light a candle for all of those concerns, those joys, everything that is sparking within you. We light a communal candle here today, and we will light more soon. Remember, the flame of your faith community is here for you. We are richer and better for all of us together. May it be so.
I wake up feeling in my soul I lived in someone else's life. I'm turning into concrete, harder than these city streets, where no one even cares if I'm alive. I gotta get it right. Gotta get it right. There's a place that I know where they all know me. I gotta get back now to the ones who love me. Wrap myself around you, never let you go. There's nothing in the world that feels like the place that I know where they all know me. I gotta get back now to the ones who love me. Wrap myself around you, never let you go. There's nothing in the world that feels like coming home. Home. Sleep, and not even a memory is good enough to get me through the night. I'm longing for the real thing, of people who know the real me, and all the ways to love me back to life. I gotta get it right. Get it right.
It seems to me we should start at the beginning. Even though many of us have been together working on this home for quite some time, it's always good to revisit our roots. We can't build a home without a good foundation, a cornerstone, if you will. Last week, Reverend Jen spoke of our beautiful mosaic chalice at the center of the labyrinth, how the labyrinth is one of the most beautiful she has ever seen. Its creation was an act of co-creation, the work of much planning, many hands, many hearts, co-created brick by single brick. It is indeed a cornerstone of our property. Walking the labyrinth is a foundational spiritual practice born of simply putting one foot in front of the next. Stewardship could also be thought of as an act of co-creation. A fully funded stewardship account that meets 100% of our goal is in fact something that comes about with each individual pledge, small and large. One by one, they add up to provide us with a foundation from which we built that labyrinth, maintain the grounds that support it, provide space for community. As we see the image of the chalice mosaic again, notice how the pieces come together to create a spectacular whole. Imagine each piece here as one of the many that contribute to keeping UUCY's foundation strong and meaningful. Imagine your completed pledge as one of those pieces. For example, did you know that the membership committee is hosting 18 new people in its membership class that started yesterday? And there were at least 30 new people that could be invited to attend. Every week, there's usually at least 1 or 2 new people that come to our service to check us out. If you added them up, that's a potential for 100 new members that we reach out to every week. We reach out ready to share our own faith in the foundations we have here at UUCY. Building and grounds keeps an eye on a property that spans a half a city block in several directions, I think. It's 6.5 acres that support 3 buildings, including the carriage house that dates to 1876. We maintain facilities for 7 Tribes Daycare, a valuable resource for the community. And we have spectacular flowering gardens that bloom all season long. I hope that you enjoy, as I did, revisiting some of these photos that capture days of our cleanup work, that foster laughs, community, and celebrations. And I was surprised to see that there is, in fact, the need for some heavy equipment rentals that goes on. Some pretty big work happening here. All of this got me wondering if there is indeed an actual cornerstone on our property. Perhaps you might want to visit the grounds to seek one out on your own. Even if there are still challenges to Sunday worship gatherings, let's not forget we can fellowship outside at any time. So I guess to me, maybe the entire property is a cornerstone, a rich foundation. I know I've only highlighted a few people who work on our cornerstone committees. As we take a few more moments to enjoy this enduring symbol of our faith, it got me wanting to know what other ideas are out there to acknowledge our cornerstones, the pieces of the mosaic that are working to keep our efforts alive. As we listen to our next hymn, From You I Give, to You I Receive, I invite you to type into the chat your ideas of our cornerstones, our foundations. Let's recognize those that work to keep us standing on solid ground.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
From you I receive,
To you I give,
together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
In the Luminescence holiday, through the lighting of 5 candles, we celebrate the nurturing of our own personal sparks along with the light that resides in all that is around us. We rejoice with delight the fact these lights do not extinguish as they are used. We reaffirm that the light that resides within us grows each time we share it. Through nurturing, we cultivate the expansion of even more illumination throughout the world. We celebrate the principles that guide us to transformation, and we rejoice in the openness our faith provides towards seeking truth through both the blaze of spirit and the light of reason. The ritual we're doing today is lightly adapted from the original ritual script from the UU Congregation of Santa Clarita Valley. We light the first candle, which represents the light within ourselves. The first of the 5 candles represents the source of light that lives within all of us and within all that is. It is as enveloping as the awesome light of the sun that powers all we know on earth, and yet as intimate as the still small voice that is an ever-present glow within each of us. The light within gives us spirit. It touches others. It drives our creativity and love. It radiates from each of us. And collectively, it radiates outward from this congregation and this faith. It is the spirit of life, the essence behind all things. We offer these words of prayer for the first candle. In this season and in all to come, may we honor the source of light, which resides within each of us and within all that is.
The second candle is the light within all that is, in recognition of diversity. We light this second candle, which is for the light within all that is. Recognizing that the light is within all leads us directly to a deep appreciation of our diversity. We symbolically light the second candle from the first. When light shines through a prism, it reveals all the individual colors that make up the entirety of the light. This candle stands for a recognition of the diversity, sometimes seen, sometimes not, in all that we experience. We affirm that it is precisely this diversity which gives strength to the totality, to the single integrated community of all life. We offer these words of prayer for the second candle. In this season and in all to come, may we discern and celebrate the nuances of color, shape, and perspective that comprise the light which resides within us and within all that is.
We light the third candle, which is for reflection. This candle represents light's reflection as from a mirror. We look into the mirror and see ourselves revealed. We take joy in that which we have accomplished and have not accomplished. We take stock of our spiritual growth. We realize that sometimes we need to forgive ourselves for our mistakes and our disappointments so that we can grow beyond them. We remind ourselves to periodically cast our gaze on important things that we may be just too busy to otherwise look at. This candle calls us to reflect deeply upon our very being. Moving outward, we are reminded of the value of exploring and understanding the larger essence that we are a part of, to do our best to comprehend the nature of the things and our responsibility in it. We offer this prayer for the third candle. In this season and in all to come, may I reflect deeply upon all that is, growing in understanding of the light which resides within me and within all that is.
We light the fourth candle, which is for refocus. This fourth candle represents the focusing of light as through a lens. It embodies the refocusing and empowering of ourselves through action. The concept of focusing signifies our ability to transform things, to bend the arc of light toward the direction of justice. We work toward creating transformation at all levels. We can change ourselves for the better. We can improve the lives of others, and we can help to heal the world. So the fourth candle reminds us that through refocusing our light, we uplift ourselves, we enhance our communities, and transform the world. We offer this prayer for the fourth candle. In this season and in all to come, may we be moved to redirect, through conscious refocusing of the light, all that resides within each of us and within all that is.
We light the fifth candle, which is for recommitment. In the first four candles, we've honored the light that resides within ourselves, as well as within every individual. We understand the need to search within, as well as to refocus ourselves onto the task of transforming what is into a better what will be. Now, the fifth candle symbolizes our commitment to achieving results that embody these ideals. In this rededication, we create what we want to personally become, as well as what we want our world to become. We strive to attain all these ideals. We know that our efforts are supported on the shoulders of those who have come before us, and we hope that our efforts will help to support those who will come after. This candle reminds us of the high standard we set and of the light that outlasts us. We offer this prayer for the fifth and final candle. In this season and in all to come, may I be ever faithful to the highest good that may be, in honor of the source of light, which resides within me and within all that is.
Thank you, all my wonderful readers. The candles we've lit today express concepts that we Unitarian Universalists hold dear. They express pathways we may follow toward our own spiritual fulfillment. They symbolize goodness we want to encompass within ourselves, decency which we want to promote within our communities and the world, and what we want to pass on to future generations. They consecrate key components of our identity. All of us encompass each of these spiritual concepts in our lives to some degree, but interestingly, they occur in different balances. We appreciate and celebrate that as individuals, each of us tends to focus our attention and interests on that which speaks most deeply to our heart. There are those who are oriented toward the nature of the divine, of looking at flame through prayer and meditation. There are those who focus more on knowledge and understanding of scientific and scholarly pursuits. There are those, more of us than ever, who feel called to turn our principles into social action, making our world a better place through individual action and or through collective social movements. We honor all of these lights, as we do for all callings. In the radiant light, let us honor the paths that lead to higher ideals. Let today remind us to let our character illuminate those around us. May each individual candle and the totality remind us of light that is inside each of us, the need to appreciate the diversity of all individuals, of the importance of reflection, of our desire to live with intention by refocusing our light with mindfulness and with purpose. Now I'll head to the pulpit. There we go. Different hat, same hat. All right. I'll say that as of last summer, I'd never heard of this holiday. When I first arrived here at UUCY last August, I started to familiarize myself with the documents that had been prepared over the summer to start planning the worship year ahead. And I saw written down in February, Luminescence. And I said, what? And I Googled it. A quick Google search brought me to the website set up for the holiday, luminescenceholiday.org, all one word. And there I found these words. The term luminescence refers to the generation of light in a way other than burning. As happens with a match, a piece of paper, or a wood-burning fireplace, burning creates light, but eventually uses up the source, extinguishing the light. The idea of luminescence, the light that does not consume its source, was very appealing to me. Of course, as our office administrator and communications coordinator Jason pointed out to me, we are lighting candles which are consumed. But what was our other option? Bioluminescent jellyfish? A bunch of old school glowing radioactive watch dials? Candles it is. The candles are symbols, of course. A ritual is a symbol writ large. It's a way to express complex ideas within simple motions and words. And I'll confess, I love rituals. Though spiritually and theologically I have left the Catholic faith of my youth far behind, I still appreciate the known language of symbol and ritual that was taught to me in my earliest years. I'm sure many of you have similar memories, things committed to memory from earlier faith communities or perhaps other organizations, reciting the Girl Scouts pledge or singing the official camp song. They're rituals the way prayer is a ritual. They connect us to something larger. And that's why I was excited to learn about a new ritual, a tradition within Unitarian Universalism that hasn't yet gained a great deal of ground outside the Pacific Coast region of the Unitarian Universalist Association. It's a way to remind ourselves of these unique aspects of our faith and celebrate them. To my way of thinking, Unitarian Universalism is an audacious experiment in faith and in community. What if there was a place you could go where you openly acknowledge that everyone in the congregation held different beliefs, where you openly acknowledge that in fact it is almost impossible for one person to fully understand or share another's beliefs, and where you still came together to try and uplift and encourage one another on your own spiritual journeys and to live out your shared values? Can we share values without beliefs? I think so. Yesterday, I had the great privilege to help facilitate the first of 3 immersion classes for people who are interested in learning more about UUCY and possibly becoming members. There are as many ways to arrive at a Unitarian Universalist congregation as there are people who do so. You can be born you can practice another religion and reject it. You can practice another religion and still be open to embracing a different community. You can get curious about Unitarian Universalism after you see one of our signs or hear that one of your friends attends. People find our congregations to get married, to raise their kids, to make friends, and to work to change the world. And the tapestry of all of these journeys, all of these stories makes the most amazing weaving of truths and of seeking, of home leaving and home finding. More than learning about Unitarian Universalism, I have my own audacious hope that by coming to classes, to worships, small group meetings, by showing up, asking questions, and listening with your whole heart, I have the audacious hope that people won't just like Unitarian Universalism. They won't even just love Unitarian Universalism. They'll get excited about Unitarian Universalism. Even if you're a 5th generation Unitarian, isn't it exciting when you're reminded of what's so cool about your faith? And if you're new enough here to remember the first time you ever found a UU community, do you remember that rush of excitement when you realized exactly what you had found? Yesterday in class, we got a chance to share our stories a bit, what excited us about Unitarian Universalism and about UUCY. And so right now, I would love to ask folks to share in the chat, if they'd like to, one or two things that excite you about Unitarian Universalism and UUCY. And I'll come back and share those in a minute. To return to Luminescence, I'll say that when I looked up the ritual, celebrating the light within each of us, the light within us all, for the opportunity for real reflection, refocus, and renewal, I got excited again. And what a joy that is, to be reminded all over again why you love someone or something, to examine a beloved, familiar object or idea from a new perspective and be reminded of how much it means to you. In this way, I also think it is appropriate and lovely that we are placing Luminescence so close to Valentine's Day. It is specified only by its creators as early February for a celebration. It's this change of perspective and opportunity to rediscover our affection and excitement that embody that which I believe to be the best of Valentine's Day, which is a problematic and complicated time of year for many. And finding a new holiday, a new ritual, is an important reminder that ours is a living tradition. Traditions are important, but so is re-examining them and considering how they may or may not serve us as well as they once did. Being willing to love someone or something even as it changes can bring with it rich rewards, even as it can challenge us. I love that my faith challenges me. I love that it comforts me. And I love that it is willing to change. Speaking of love, I'm going to go to the chat and share a few things that excite you about Unitarian Universalism and UUCY. Cornerstones, chalice lighting, cornerstones. Give us a diversity of sermon themes. Keen for social justice in action. Focus on this world and making it more just rather than focusing on some other world. I love Unitarian Universalism because of our passion for social justice and commitment to embrace diversity. Feel free to keep sharing. I see there's some awesome cornerstones there too, that from Sue's earlier. But we're asking y'all to do a lot in the chat today. Sorry, apparently today is type all the time. I don't want to type. I want to listen. Well, type if you would like to. Commitment to non-judgmental love and authenticity. The intellectual aspect of UU, the ability to question and analyze, the connection to nature that's a focus of UU faith. These are beautiful examples. And I encourage you to keep talking, but I realize that I wrote a full-on sermon here when we had this ritual and all these other things. So we're near the top of the hour already. I'll move us along from these beautiful, beautiful, oh wait, no, there's a nice long one here. No, this is what it's about. I first heard of UU. Stories of youth camp and a fun experience that valued individuals, nature, and thought. That's a lovely summarization. And what beautiful love letters you've shared to Unitarian Universalism and to UUCY. Thank you to everyone who shared. Keep chatting in the chat if you would like to. We remain here in the light of our candles in a new to me ritual designed to remind me of what I love about this faith. I'd like to share a last little love letter with you. This meditation prayer poem is by my colleague, the Reverend Teresa Soto, lead minister of the First Unitarian Church of Oakland, California. It is a love letter to this faith and to all of us exploring it, inviting us to share our excitement with the world. It's called Boldly You Must Hang Your Light. If I sent you a text, it would say simply, I have good news. Would you text me back? If I sent you a note on my very best note card with a sticker and postage stamp that said, "You are not going to believe this," in a way that meant to allow you to suspend some disbelief, not tease you for being skeptical, would you read the inside? You're used to casual mentions of the place where you belong, faith, ethics, love in action. But what if more were possible? What if you had a sign, garish, neon, bringing with enthusiasm the occasional blink and an ongoing bug zapper buzz? You are the oasis. You are the hospital for broken hearts. Whatever it is that keeps you shy, reserved, appropriate in telling where it is that folks can belong and grow back their injured hearts, it's worth the challenge. Grow unashamed at your own healing and connection. Grow proud of your diligence in keeping mutually dependent promises. Grow affectionate and supportive towards your community, even though it is imperfect. But most of all, be foolish for love, tender-hearted for love, and bold for love. Boldly, you must hang your light, neon, buzzing, bright, and do not be chagrined when your light blinks. It is a silent song of yes, you are welcome here. Boldly, give your love and arrive at your joy. Thank you for sharing your own gifts and notes and invitations with this community. Let this ritual today invite us into deeper reflection on all the light we may be hiding as well as hanging, and let us choose to share all that we learn on the journey. So may it be.
Questions, our passions and fears. So here we are to share our
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Go lifted up, love bless your way. Moonlight, starlight, guide your journey into peace and the brightness of day. Go lifted up, love bless your way. Moonlight, starlight, guide your journey into peace and the brightness of day.
Once again, we come to the end of our worship, the beginning of our service. In honor of our ritual today, I'm going to offer a last few words from the original scripts written for the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Santa Clarita Valley. May love and wisdom be in your mind. May love and courage be in your heart. May love and strength be in your hands. May Spirit walk with you and through you today and all your days. May the light of all these flames that illuminated this hour continue to shine in our hearts and minds. Go in peace, move in love, and be a light unto the world. So may it be.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in